want to welcome you to another episode of Laid Back History. And we are here, we're recording in front of a live studio audience at Farmers and Friends on South...
Johnny Carson?
Yeah, I know.
Farmers and Friends.
Farmers and Friends. Well, you interrupted me.
I'm not interrupting you now, and you're still screwing it up.
Oh my God.
Okay.
So we're at Farmers and Friends on South Main Street in downtown Washington. It's owned by Ross Farms. Drew Ross has it, and it is an awesome store. Shayna, come on out here. Shayna is the Business District Authority Executive Director, so she's always schlepping the stores of downtown Washington. But honestly, it's an awesome store. It's all local, so everything in here is from local farms. Like tonight, he's having a Meet Your Farmer event. So we've got a nice crowd of people.
We got a great crowd here tonight.
Yeah, he's serving all local food. So we have beef,
chopped beef from Two Posts.
Chopped beef from Two Posts, chicken from Farm 57.
Farm 57.
We've got lamb chops from Ross Farms.
Who are they?
Yeah, I know.
All right.
We also have some pork, country pork chops.
Oh my God, the pork country ribs.
Pork country ribs from
Thompson Farms. Oh my God, are those good? All prepared courtesy of Chef Ryan. That man can cook a stone you will ask for seconds.
Yes.
So
definitely come out sometime. If you have an opportunity, come to Drew's store. He's got fresh lamb. He's got fresh beef. We don't really have a butcher in Washington.
He has strawberry milk.
He does, yeah.
Which I haven't seen since I was a kid.
Unless you go to Chico, then they have it down there.
Yes.
But same place, I think they get
I work
it from
out of state.
Yeah. But I definitely recommend it because there's a lot of local products, wines and whiskeys, Red Pump, Ridge Runner whiskey and distilled products. Sauces, salsas and sauces and pickles and all kind of different cheeses.
Various wines.
Yeah, it's just all kind of stuff. There's candles here. And a little plug for Rich's daughter.
Mixes. Well, they're not here yet, but they will be.
They will be, and it's, what are they called?
Tiptoe Candle Co.
Tiptoe Candle Company, so a little shout out for them. You can also buy some beautiful black walnut cutting boards made by Old Plank Forge. I don't know, some jackass.
Yeah.
They're amazing cutting boards. They come with hand-forged cheese knives. So, all kind of great stuff. But yeah, absolutely awesome event. We're so excited to be here. But what we're going to be talking about, what we want to tell you a little bit is about taverns. Shayna's trying to get out of the picture.
Yeah, she's trying to stay out of the picture.
There you go, man. And look, there's Ben. He just came in. Ben Brown. Say hi.
We're live. Say hi.
Say hi to the Laid Back History crowd.
Oh, hey, it's good to see you guys. You can be down here right now. This is where it's happening.
But what we're talking about tonight is tavern drinks. I want to tell some stories from the Bloody Dark Tavern, which is our mobile tavern that we kind of do. We just have tavern, we'll travel. Is that?
That's pretty much it. Anywhere anybody wants us, we'll be there.
Yeah. So we have several drinks. Why don't you start out talk about the shrub? What is a shrub?
Yeah, we have an 18th century shrub, and as you can guess by the name, shrubs were originally made with fruits and berries that grew on shrubs. Okay, we do a more revolutionary era drink where it has orange juice and lemon juice. Basically, a little prior to the Revolutionary War, when England still liked us and we didn't upset them in any way. If you folks might remember 1776, we were still trading with them and we would get oranges and lemons through the British East Indies Company. So what we've made is basically a slightly pre-Revolutionary War version of a shrub. It has rum, again, pre-Revolutionary War, because after the Revolutionary War, everything around here was whiskey. Orange juice, lemon juice.
I need you to pause for 1 second. So we've got, chipped beef from Two Posts Farm. There's just pulled chicken here from Farm 57. These are
I feel so offended.
I know, but listen, that's what happens when you're live. We've got lamb chops from Ross Farms, and this is pork country ribs from Thompson Farm.
Yeah, just try the pork ribs.
These are so good with a little bit of bacon on top of it, and then your fixins here.
Okay.
There's also some local cheeses, variety there. There's hummus, that's butternut squash hummus from Pam Kilgore.
Where he put the shrimp at?
Oh, and there's shrimp too.
There's shrimp out there somewhere with
it's up
with
on
a
top, too.
Fort Henry dipping sauce.
So good.
Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know if it did, but it's probably the best thing that ever came out of the Mon River.
Yeah, it's so good. So,
I don't remember where I was
I
now.
don't
You
either.
killed my mojo.
well, listen, that's part of doing it live here. Terry, say hi. Say hi to the
hi,
Laid Back
Terry.
History crowd. Miss Terry Perry. You might recognize Terry as
From
Mrs.
everywhere, yeah.
As Mrs. Holcroft from the Whiskey Rebellion Festival Street Theater. You've been my wife for a lot of years.
No, we have. We've been, yeah, you're divorcing me.
I know I won't be there this year. I will not be portraying John Holcroft. So, yeah. I retired from the festival last year. Said my goodbyes. Don't say anything.
We'll get
Not-
remarried.
What's that?
We'll get remarried.
Okay. Nice. So, anyway, continue with your bounce. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I think I pretty much finished it up.
Well, how does Amy make her bounce? Because does she make it original or does she?
She got a big butt.
No. Sorry, Amy.
Sorry, Amy.
How does she make? Because
You guys will be in your way.
no, you're fine.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So, like, how does she end up making it to make it?
She makes the simple syrup on the top of the stove. It's not rocket science. The basic recipe is 3-2-1, 3 parts simple syrup, 2 parts juice, and 1 part booze.
Okay.
Amy's is actually more like a 1-1-1.
I know.
She makes it pretty warm. But yeah, I don't know the exact recipe. She kind of keeps that for me and always makes it when I'm not home because I keep taste testing it. But yeah, it's like I said, it's orange juice, lemon juice, a lot of rum, and a little bit of simple syrup. And you basically, I said 3-2-1. You just kind of vary it
To make it taste better.
That's the beauty of the 18th century drinks. That is the basic recipe for just about every one, 3-2-1.
Right.
And you vary it per taste. If you want a little bit warmer, throw a little more alcohol in. If you like it a little bit sweeter, a little bit more simple syrup.
My lady just asked what was in the cherry bounce.
Okay, well, that's a good timing. So a cherry bounce is normally a brandy drink, but I made it with whiskey. So we used a local whiskey, and basically it's cherries that are chopped up, mashed a little bit, and then you soak the brandy or the whiskey in it, and you let that cherry juice and everything infuse into it, and then you strain off the cherries. You take the drink, you add like a simple syrup or sugar water, basically, add to it, cut it a little bit with a little bit of water, cherry bounce.
And it was actually George and Martha Washington's favorite drink.
Yeah.
Very much so.
When George Washington came out here on the Allegheny, like over the Allegheny Mountains, he had a canteen of cherry bounce with him.
Is that why he chopped down the cherry tree?
Yes.
You knew I had to get that in
Yes,
there.
just the sad thing is that you put that joke in every time.
I
you do
know.
it. Doesn't get old for you, does
No,
it?
it doesn't.
When George Washington was running for local Burgess, I think it was, Martha actually made, several gallons of this
Yes.
that he handed, he basically took it around, I won't say as a bribe, but kind of as a bribe. To,
Well, given the option, kissing babies, drinking, yeah, I'm going to go with the cherry bounce.
yeah, exactly. So Martha made up big batches of it, and you can actually find the recipe, the exact recipe Martha does. And I mean,
She's good.
I know, except you're not supposed to stick your fingers in the glass because they're going to be drinking out of that. You're supposed
It's
to.
all my family. It's okay.
It's okay. Shayna's like, they've had worse.
They're my people.
So
They've licked Shayna's fingers hundreds of times.
I don't want to leave that in there. So, but at any rate, so yeah, cherry bounce, a very welcome drink. And like I said, we make a whiskey one, but it primarily would have been brandy. He was cooking at the market. You know the center
Turn around and
market
say
in
hi.
Wheeling?
You're live.
Yeah.
And cherry juice.
Look at Rachel Ang. The only person here that has to stand on their tiptoes to get in the camera. You didn't know it, but she was standing on a chair to get that high. So what are you, all a 4'9"?
The Jolly Green Giant over here.
That's me.
So,
And then you can also, like, the cherry bounce. Let's say you want to make a quick cherry bounce, right? You don't want to have to ferment. You don't want to have to soak it for 30 days with the cherries and the whiskey.
Right.
There is a way to do it. Basically, go get cherry juice. Go get unsweetened cherry juice. You mix it with. Now I heat mine up. I don't know about you, but I heat mine up. Then I boil some water, dissolve the sugar in it, and then incorporate it. And then I take whiskey and put it in, or brandy, whatever you want. Now again, all right. So we're here with Drew. Rich is there. Now don't put ice down. So we're here with Drew, that is the owner of the store we've been talking about, Farmers and Friends. Drew, what's the deal with the store? Like, it's all local, right?
As local as we can get, based on the constraints of seasonal growing and just the global economy that we live in.
Okay.
We try and source as much as we can locally, predominantly prioritize products sourced from young farmers.
Okay.
Like myself.
Because I mean, you are the future of farming. I mean,
I am, yeah.
The average age of a farmer, do you know what it is?
55 and a half.
55 and a half.
And growing every day
The ages grow? Okay.
as they die.
Because there's fewer and fewer younger farmers that are stepping up, right?
Absolutely.
So you're trying to, I mean, it's so important that we talk about this, that, you know, a lot of younger people don't have the skills that they would have had 40 or 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And because of that, a lot of local, homegrown products are dying. They're going away. So you got to go to larger, Walmart and that kind of stuff. And you're trying to keep that alive, and that's so important, right?
Absolutely.
So, and it's big for the economy too.
Yeah, especially the local economy. Dollar spent in the local economy turns over 15 times more than a dollar spent on something that's a regional or even national economy.
And so by you going local, and then it's kind of turning over to you, then somebody finds out about where you got it, they want to know more, they want to buy more, and it just keeps it circling around, keeps the money here.
Yeah, and people love to come in and hear the stories of the products and the farms and farmers that grew them, and that's a big thing. What we do is not only do we sell a great local product here, but we sell our great local story.
And that's what we're doing today. That's what you're doing. You're trying to get people to talk to the farmers, because we've got
a little out of hand in here.
Because we've got what, Farm 57 is right there, right?
They're huddled together because farmers never talk to anybody but themselves. They're a very cliquey bunch, which is another problem, but we're going to handle that.
So tell me real quick about the ice cream, because I couldn't remember who it was from.
Valewood Farms.
Valewood Farms.
They're in Loretto, Pennsylvania, which is up by Evansburg, so it's getting a little farther out, but unfortunately, we don't have a really good value-added dairy products producer here in the Washington County area.
Okay.
They're a multi-generational family farm.
Right.
One of the generations is my age. His name is Simon. When I was chair of the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau's Young Ag Professionals Committee, Simon was my vice chair.
Okay.
And we really got to talking about all the great things that they do there on their farm,
Right.
their production plant. And they make everything from all the great ice creams that we have to coffee creamers, iced coffee, sour cream, a great chip dip that's hell of a good.
Okay.
Buttermilk, anything you can think of that could be made from cow's milk is made.
Okay. That's awesome. This is amazing, Drew. I love the store. I think you're doing amazing stuff here. Listen, we are happy to be here. Got to also point out, we've got Commissioner Nick Sherman. Nick, say hi.
How's it going, guys?
So, we got Commissioner Sherman. I also saw Joe Thomas. He's a city councilman. I don't know where he went.
State Representative Bud Cook is here somewhere.
Really?
He's a very short man, though.
He's here somewhere.
Nate Navel's from Congressman Guy Rushenthaler's office.
There you go, right.
Congressman's probably
Right
in
there.
Congress right now. But
Probably, yes.
Nate never misses a free meal, so. But Nate also comes from a great dairy farming family, so.
Oh, really? Okay, so you can say stuff like that about him.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, man. Well, listen, thanks for having us. We're going to schlep some more drinks for you.
Yeah, Rich isn't eating all food.
Yeah, I know. So, Rich,
Yes, ma'am.
can you tell us a little bit about taverns in the 18th century? Like, were they social like what we have right now?
This, honestly, right now,
Rachel, spin the camera around so people can see it real quick.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, just turn it.
pick it up. Just pick it up and
Pick it up
pan.
and turn it. Look at the crowd we have.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, what? She's like, I'm gonna make sure I get myself
Had
in
it
there.
come down like 6 feet.
Thank you.
Cider 8 or 6?
6.
Yeah.
What's 8?
The spritzers. Yeah, everything else is 6. The spritzers are the only thing that's 8.
So we're having a very social atmosphere here.
Yeah,
Is this what taverns were like?
This is probably so very representative of what you would have found in a tavern along the National Road, like after the Revolutionary War into the early to mid, well, up through the 1800s. You know, taverns were around until probably almost the early 1900s yet.
Well, and actually, we are on the National Road.
Yes.
So, I've said this before, I think, of laid back history, but I'll say it again. When you come into Washington from, we'll say, from Scenery Hill.
Yeah.
So coming in from the west.
West, like
Or east, from the
79.
east, like when you're coming west.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you come into Washington and you hit Main Street, the intersection of 40 and Main Street, where we go straight to stay on 40 and go down West Main
this hangs
Street.
or right.
The National Road hung a right, came right up Main Street, went to Chestnut Street and made a left and then went down. So this was originally called Market Street because this is where the businesses were.
Right.
And that's where the National Road goes
And
through.
there was a tavern probably, every mile?
About every mile along
About
the road,
every
yeah.
mile, so yeah.
But they were very social. Now, the one thing we do have here that you wouldn't have had, right, are women.
Yeah,
I mean, you would. So they had like tea houses or coffee houses.
yes, the women had their tea and coffee houses.
Okay.
Men, it was frowned upon to have women in the taverns.
So coffee houses, but
Yeah, the ladies had their tea and coffee houses. The men went into the taverns. The taverns were the meeting halls, the social halls of the 18th and 19th century. Honestly, taverns are where America was born at. For those of us that have seen, now that I'm saying this, I can't think of the name of it.
Patriot.
The Patriot, thank you. Jeez. Heath Ledger, Mel Gibson, the scene where they're riding around trying to get patriots to join the French and Indian, or the Revolutionary War. And they went into the one tavern and walked through the door and said, "God save King George," and then beat feet out the door and like 50 knives hit the door.
Come to the right place.
Yeah, we've come to the right place. That's exactly what would have happened. But yeah, I mean, it was considered customary. I'm, 60 feet from the front of the tavern?
Yeah.
And if I would hear somebody up front talking about something that I was interested in, it was considered perfectly socially acceptable for me to yell
Right.
across to everybody else to join into that conversation.
Okay.
So,
Because it was basically no conversation was your own.
right.
It's not like today we go to a restaurant and you're at a table and you talk low so that nobody else can
Nobody
hear
can
what
hear
you're
you.
saying. Back then it's like, well, and we talk about the Whiskey Rebellion. The Whiskey Rebellion was born out of taverns because, as the idea of this rebellion spreads, it's spreading through taverns. It's kind of like the internet of the time. Which one? Plum? It's kind of like the internet of the time in that, you have a conversation in a tavern, and then you go to the next tavern and you talked about it there.
Yeah.
That hits 4 or 5 people. They spread out to other taverns, and suddenly you have a network of people involved in a rebellion
Yes.
because it's all being traded through tavern talk.
Yeah. And since the Whiskey Rebellion directly affected taverns, it's going to get talked about a little bit.
Right. So it's kind of an important thing, but
Yep.
So taverns are your social networks, of the day. And also, look at Washington. I think I've said this before. The first church service held in Washington,
Was held in a tavern.
the first one held indoors,
Yeah.
was held in a tavern because that's where there were seats. The Black Bear Tavern, which was up on Wheeling Street, is where the first church services are going to be held. We're going to say goodbye. We're so busy right now. You know, I was thinking we'd have a little more time to talk.
we're
but,
getting slammed.
But
This
we're
is great.
We're getting hammered. I'm so excited about this. And also, we've talked about trying to keep laid back histories to like 15 minutes because I can talk a lot. And
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So look at your little head just popping up out of the front of the screen. But look at this crowd. I mean, this is it's an awesome turnout. I'm so happy to see stuff like this happening in downtown Washington. And honestly, I mean, you look at the Business District Authority.
Yeah.
You know, prior with Sarah, who's right there.
Sarah, turn around and say hi.
So when Sarah was the director here, she kind of got a lot of great things started. And now with Shayna, you know, taking over, which way? That way. Shayna taking over.
Say hi.
With Shayna taking over, this is the kind of stuff that you're seeing in downtown Washington. Amazing turnouts. You know, people excited to be
All
downtown.
Locally grown, locally processed, local farmers.
I'm telling you, that's
Buy local.
that's the way to make things to work. Is to keep it, keep it local. People want to support local businesses, and honestly, big part of what Laid Back History is we're promoting history, but we're promoting local. We want people to see what resources there are, what's available here, and the culture that's here, and that's what our history is. It's our culture. So, anything to say, Rich?
No. Buy local. I figure I said too much already. I'm not like Clay. I wasn't vaccinated with a phonograph needle.
We'll see you guys in 2 weeks for another episode of Laid Back.